I haven't seen you since the plague.
Yahoo! So we'll kick things off here. This is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, a podcast where we watch and review and analyze the American television comedy WandaVision. That's a separate episode. I always chop that off because I love those downloads. Watch and talk about the American television comedy Community, 1 or 2 episodes at a time. We are also the premier podcast in the Yahoo Screen podcasting network. I am one of your hosts. TV's Kevin Lanigan, and I would describe myself as a real Minerva.
Oh, nice. Oh, wait, I had a list. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? My name's Jace. I use they, them pronouns. I like that every time it gets closer and closer to an obnoxious YouTube video intro. You know what
hey, what's up, guys?
Deeply alarming.
I just have... I can't use that one now. I just have one question. You know, seriously, what does space smell like?
I hit the wrong button.
No, I think you hit the right button.
Works. Yeah.
What was the one you were trying to push? Now I'm curious.
I was gonna hit the Changlorious Bastards one, but I actually figured out my intro. So, I'm the daddy host, the third one, the hostess with the mostest kids.
That's awesome. I love that.
For this episode, Gore Blimey, Colby Noige.
That's such a good one. Oh man, you know, wow. Oh my gosh, there's another quote. I wanted to say one, but I couldn't. I wanted to say Guten bye bye, but that's totally a sign off, and that's not a sign on.
Yeah.
Guten bye bye.
Guten bye bye. I was like,
yeah, absolutely. Boy, I hope you like jokes about Brits and Germans. This is a real xenophobic fucking episodes of Community. Let's see. Just for context for our listeners, we've already talked about WandaVision for an hour, and we are existing in this nether space between receiving the poster for Cruella starring Emma Stone and getting the trailer for Cruella starring Emma Stone. Yeah. And boy, if you think the group chat was not horny today, then you don't know us at all. Step on me, Cruella DeVille. Push me, Cruella. It's a hell of a time to be a fan of mean ladies with dogs, and I truly am glad to be living in this particular golden age and learning that we're getting this movie in May. Will it be the first good Disney live-action remake of one of their movies?
Here's hoping.
Who can say? Will it be the first?
Like, they do this whole thing. It's coming out in May. It's in 3 months, and we had no word of this. We had no idea this was happening.
I knew it existed.
That second picture I shared with you of her holding dogs is like 8 months
Has
old.
Been out for months.
It's been out for a minute.
That's been out for months with, like, in the background, Paul Walter Hauser is there and the other guy.
Yeah.
I had no idea, so I was certainly stunned. I was like,
so it's coming out
3 months ahead of time and just give me no time to prepare.
You're giving me no time to emotionally prepare for Emma Stone as Cruella DeVille. How dare you? I must say, you know, Craig Gillespie is directing. I loved I, Tanya, and I also really like Lars and the Real Girl, 2 joints of his. And Emma Stone is a slam dunk as Cruella DeVille, so they will have to actively fuck this up. Let's see, folks, if they can do it. Let's see, game fans.
Let's see if they can actively fuck this up. Back to you, Kevin.
Back to you. Yeah, so excellent. Anyway, pushing that all out of the way, we've talked enough as it's just like strangling each other on mic about WandaVision opinions, as it should be.
As it should be.
As it should be. Dare we just get started here, folks?
Respectfully.
respectfully choking each other while looking at pictures of Emma Stone is relative. Respectfully stroking each other. Respectfully. That's a Freudian slip if one has ever occurred.
Really gay.
Paging Dr. Freud. Yeah, absolutely. I'm borrowing from WandaVision and using old-fashioned sitcoms. I'm borrowing from and just using like the oldest jokes and setups in the
Tell me
world.
why I thought that was a Brita reference before I went to WandaVision.
She definitely mentions Freud
And she
as like
did
the
the
primary.
phone call thing for the past. Oh my
And she
God.
did the phone call thing. Check please. So yeah, I'm really channeling my inner fucking Britta Perry, and I am honored, well and truly honored. So let's quote unquote kick things off an hour into recording with season 4, episode 3, Conventions of Space and Time, directed by sketch comedy royalty Michael Patrick Jan, written by Maggie Bandur. In this episode, the gang goes to an Inspector Spacetime convention. Also, Annie pretends to be Jeff's wife in a hotel. Also, Pierce and Shirley are on a focus testing group for an American version of Inspector Spacetime. And also, special guest star Matt Lucas attempts to break up Troy and Abed. Let me kick off this discussion, this episode, by saying that I think the cold open of this episode I love. Not because of any like particular like thematic ideas, but it's this sequence where Britta is like leaping out the window, changing clothes, running in through the hallway, grabbing her shoes, grabbing the donuts, and the you know, kind of lukewarm payoff at the door is the first moment of season 3 that has felt new.
Yeah.
Or season 4 that feels new and exciting and not a retread of something we've done before. This is a new idea for the television show community, this type of sequence. I think it's very like energetically well done. And the only thing that could have taken it up top is if we had like subbed out the Ludwig score, which is great for like some pop song, but they probably just couldn't afford it. They just didn't have it in the budget.
Community not affording good song budget because they use it all on other songs.
I never. But beyond that, you know, I could go either way about like them trying to like trick Abed that they're not having sex. I think that like infantilizes Abed in a particular way that I'm not fond of. But the sequence is really well done.
Yeah, I think we've also touched on the fact that the entire Troy and Britta romance plot is forgettable, probably shouldn't have happened in the first place, like seemed like a throwaway bit at the end of season 3, and season 4 was like, let's run with it. It doesn't, there's not enough there for it to feel like some sort of, I don't grab onto it. Like I find, even though that they're dating and they go to the convention together at the dating, you know, they go to the convention while dating, and it talks about, you know, the boyfriend drama between Troy and Abed. And then of course somehow manages to rehash the awful, yes, I am judging you, Jeff and Annie thing. Like we bring it back, and I'm just like, like we bring it back again. But I just, yeah, it feels unnecessary. But when I think about the relationship, this open is the only thing that comes to mind, because it is so exciting. And just the way that they do the camera movements, like it feels like the community we've grown to love for 3 seasons is back.
Yeah. Just
like a hot second, you know what I mean? And it really pays off well.
I think this whole episode is pretty well directed. Like the convention itself is like really nice. There's a lot of like subtle camera moves, and the frame is always full of like these like details I'm not really like paying attention to, but it feels like really filled in. It feels like we're in a space. And I know that this sounds like I'm damning with fate and praise, but I think it's like really well executed. As much as I don't like a lot of the content of the episode, like it's internal contents, but I think it's well executed. I was using that word in its
using it
definition. But it's well executed by Michael Patrick Jan and the camera team. If I'm not in love with any of the story beats that we are attempting,
I think the small bits in this are what shine, because they feel like the community that we love. Like I think back to where Annie splashes the drink in Jeff's face the first time, right? And there's the hotel guy that told her about it in the background, perfectly placed in the background, right? Which we've seen several times in the earlier seasons of perfectly placing someone in the background for you to pay attention to them a little bit while there's something in the foreground that's the actual content of what's happening where you're supposed to pay attention. And there's the guy from the hotel. She splashes him and he goes, "Woo!" in the background. And like cheers her on. And it's such a
this
cute
guy
little moment.
is...
And I was like,
This guy is very good. His like throw off line of like, we normally don't concern ourselves with adultery because otherwise hotels wouldn't exist is a really good drop. That's a really good line. I don't know this actor. I could look it up. But he kills this like small part. He looks like the husband on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is who he looks like to me, but I am not going to look it up and corroborate that. But it's a really good little moment. There are little moments. I like the moment where Jeff and Abed walk into the study room for no reason, flip on the light, Pierce is there, they say we didn't invite him, and they flip off the light again.
Seriously, when I was watching this, I literally was like, why did they go into the study room in the first place?
Just
Why
for that
were
scene
they
to happen.
there?
Like, they don't even, like, sit down or, like,
Why
open a
was-
book. Like, Pierce is just in the dark, and then they just leave. Like, they had no reason to come in.
All right, good night, implying that they were leaving in the first place. Why did they walk in there?
It's just for a scene
Like,
to
oh, I
take place.
left it. I need my backpack.
They walked in there because they wanted to do this Pierce bit, and so they immediately walk out again.
Do you think this was Chevy being like, I want a scene? And they were like, fucking fine, whatever. We'll just... Doesn't make sense. He's like, I don't care!
I don't dislike the, like, focus testing subplot. It's barely a plot. It's, like, two scenes.
It's one of those kinds of humor that makes me genuinely angry. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, when I... Where it's like, yes, this is very clearly like conflict, like the source of all comedy, right? But I look at it and I'm like, fuck you. Like, it just makes me hate Pierce that much more. And the only thing that gives me any sorts of resolve is at the end when Abed goes, I hate you.
Sure.
I think it's part for the bumper. It's just, I hate you. It's just, oh my god. No, I remember this subplot because it makes me furious.
It makes you furious. It also, like, because of the way these episodes were shuffled around, this bit where he mentions the blonde with the tennis racket is supposed to be set up for the Halloween episode, not a callback to the Halloween episode. Like, it all feels very strange to me. This, like, the order of operations that, like, we do this 2 episodes in a row. The Pierce blonde tennis racket thing.
I almost like it better as a setup, honestly, because then it seems like he's been sitting on it for a while, and then he's been because he comes into the room where he's like, "We want your opinion," and they're like, and he's like, "Finally, I can tell them about my tennis racket girl." You know, it's that pays off a little better than that, but yeah, definitely.
That's all there is. This was when they went to Comic-Con with the new showrunners, Moses and Port. This was, and they wanted to, like, assure the community fans in the audience that, like, the show wasn't going to change. We understand you. Inspector Spacetime Convention was their big opening declaration. This was their, like, don't worry, you're in safe hands. We're going to do Inspector Spacetime Convention. But this episode is such a perfect encapsulation of what doesn't work for me about Inspector Spacetime. Like, I think it's a cute thing that Troy and Abed do, but the show community never turns it into anything other than a light parody of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And parody is even stretching it. It's just this show's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And that's all it ever is. So, like, them going to a convention doesn't mean anything because it's just, like, kind of Doctor Who. It never turns into, like, a full Galaxy Quest, like, we've created a new Star Trek with its own identity and its own idea. Galaxy Quest great movie. But Community across now 2 seasons has not done anything with this kernel other than it's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's Doctor Who.
I mean, it also feels like they were leaning into what they thought / knew was popular at the time, right? That's one of the things we've also talked about with this season so far is they tend to lean on jokes that are timely, which they do in a lot of the episodes, even before season 4. But season 4 especially is like super timely to a fault in that sometimes it's like we don't know if these are going to be lasting references. I'm thinking of something from the next episode we'll get into. There's an Arizona joke, and when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that legislation thing passing that one time back in 2000, whenever that was. And I was just like, this joke does not read the same way. It feels like a throwaway joke that they would put on like some late night show where they're like, hey, political humor, wow, 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 right? It just felt out of place. And Doctor Who was like super big around this time. And like coming back into its revivalist, like massive geek culture pedestal. And so it felt like they were like, let's just lean into that kind of thing and play with that. And they created a lot of space without having like footholds, you know?
They created a lot of space.
But they didn't have a lot
enough
of time.
Except they did have a lot of time. Yeah, we understand.
Yeah, I'm well aware, Caleb.
I'm well aware. Daddy Host, you've been pretty quiet. Any thoughts on this episode?
This episode bothers me because a lot of it feels really like dated.
Yeah.
Strangely, like I don't know when the particular argument about having a female Doctor Who happened, but I remember
after this.
Sure. So I remember the awful shit that awful conversations that shit sprouted. And this episode's like really, really free with like calling the only female Inspector Spacetime a bitch and like that she was terrible. And that sucks because there's no like qualification given for it, save that it was a woman.
Yeah, Abed says
character.
Not because we're sexist, but because she was terrible. And it's like, how many times have we heard people being sexist use that as their excuse?
Sure, and I don't think that like it makes much sense for Abed because as a person who ostensibly imbibes a lot of media, because imbibes is the only word I could think of, he's never been like this. That's this season though, so buckle up. But like he's never been like this. Like if something's bad,
he loves it.
He's fine with it at the very least, or he loves it at the normal. And so, like,
right, he watches Kick Puncher and obsesses over this like terrible franchise of movies.
Right, and like he also points out that Inspector Spacetime is dumb, but he loves it when he encounters it. And so, like, it's so weird. It's such a weird exchange. And when it's added to Toby, who is being an asshole, who also agrees with it, it just turns Abed into this weird, like, enabler, this like sideline, like, hey, it's not that bad. He's just saying it because of this, not that. Like he's justifying Toby, who feels way more like a character that we've all seen on Twitter.
Absolutely, yeah, a real life man. Toby is really a real life man, and he's talking about the Snyder Cut every day.
I also felt really weird about the way that he's saying like the neurotypicals as kind of portraying him in this like as
Magneto way.
Well, yeah, like, but also like there's so much
Homo
like,
sapien
around like like people that are not neurotypical already. Like that's such like there's so much like difficulty in representation as showing them as just fucking human, like they're fucking people, right? And then to have it be like, oh, we're actually going to have someone that's decidedly not neurotypical, but we're also going to have him look down on neurotypicals as if that's not a complete flip of what the actual reality of the situation is. It just felt...
Yeah, it feels bad. It feels real bad. And then
very clearly they were like, okay, let's get an actor from Doctor Who and put him on this Doctor Who convention thing.
Sure.
And they were like, well, what do we do with them? Like, I don't know, put a wrench in Troy and Abed and make him kind of a icky guy. And it just feels like they leaned into the worst parts of nerd culture, like the group of boys following Britta around, and then she turns around and she shoos them away, and they're all like, woo 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 woo. Yeah,
I also think Troy and Britta's relationship is better received, if not given this episode, like, to kick it off. Right? Like, the first time we really see them really interacting as a couple, and then it's like, go to this place that's super sexist, and, like, Troy's gonna have a huge, weird breakdown that makes a little sense, but not as much sense as they want it to make. And then on top of that, the other thing I was thinking about how to address, which is why I was quiet, is I feel like I feel like Annie and Jeff's storyline is also very weird and very gendered and very, like...
This makes me want to go to hell. That plotline makes me wish I was in hell.
I would rather drink Malort than watch this episode. That's where I firmly sit.
Wow.
I think you're right, that you're both correct, that this episode feels so gendered in a weird, old-fashioned way.
It's so old.
Community
it's so
really doesn't, like, it's gone into a couple times. I don't want, like, there's that, the trampoline episode is like a very gendered episode and tries to tackle these ideas of gender in a flawed sort of way. But this feels like, Troy is doing girl stuff, and that's what's funny. Like, Annie, how does any fucking person who identifies with Annie, who likes the Jeff Annie ship, how do you watch this episode? This is fucking embarrassing for her. This is so upsetting for this character, for me.
It's upsetting for Britta, too, though, because if we look at what's going on with Abed and Troy, right? And Troy is, naturally focusing on his relationship with Abed because that's what the function of their relationship is at the convention. But, like, Troy straight up is like, let me ditch my girlfriend right now. The whole time, casting her aside, the whole thing is like, they make the episode out to being like he's bringing his girlfriend to the convention, and we should see that. And we don't have any time for us to see when they're working, and the first thing we see is Britta just kind of being sidelined to help Troy out with Abed, and it does not feel like a relationship. There is no reciprocation of affection or emotional, like, comfort. There's none of it there. It doesn't make any sense.
Also, it's a heel turn. The opening of this episode is them, like, being a couple and making a decision as a couple to, like, hide it from their friend because they think it would make their friend more happy, which is, like, something that couples do sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very, like, we're a couple, we're working, we're figuring things out, we're problem solving together. And then, like, let's go here. And the show leans into Troy and Abed. And, like, we're in our 4th season. For the last 3 seasons, the Troy and Abed thing has been suggested, but most times it's like them looking for a mouse or whatever, and then being like, we hang out too much together, or like
they're just jealous,
or they're just jealous. Exactly, it's just like a one line, like, oh, they're really close and it's cute, and like that's it.
Yeah,
we'll leave it there.
bet you
and then Britta literally calls her boyfriend. She says to her boyfriend to go get your boyfriend. It's just. Not that I don't think that that's cute, because, like, I find that cute. That's just what I'm into. But, like,
it'd be cute if it wasn't just piled on to the rest of this heap of an episode.
It also just, like, defies one of the things that they play with in the episode is it's, like, a loose, like, it's they're playing with that early to mid 2000s, like, bromance trend that we saw. And
where it's like, we're not gay. We're two buds that like each other, but we're not gay.
They went a little too explicit for me, and it kind of ruined a little bit of the charm that they had going for them. That is not to say that I fully love the idea of, like, the gayness within all of that, but it feels like they're undercutting all this work that they did to be subtle and playful and cheeky about it, to just be a little bit too on the nose.
Can I talk about the Troy and Abed dynamic for a second?
No.
Well, shit. All right, retired. Anyone next? Okay, so this episode so fundamentally misunderstands what has been the appeal of these two as the breakout characters of this show, as a dynamic, as Troy and Abed. This episode so fundamentally misunderstands what is appealing about that. because up until this point, the idea is that Troy and Abed are inseparable, right? Yeah. Is that like when the closeness of their dynamic is called out, they just stand by each other. They say, you're just jealous. When in 21st century romanticism, when they're both after the hot librarian, where any other show would have this be a division between the two and they would start fighting, they instead decide that they are both going to date her. Right? That is such a beautiful inversion of the lazy, annoying trope that you would see. Is that, we need to create conflict for no reason.
And the only time they ever had, like, real conflict, they made it into a 2-part, like, epic.
Blowout. Like, one of the best episodes of the entire show is, like, we're going to do... If Troy and Abed are going to fight... If something is going to become between Troy and Abed, not only are we going to sow the seeds of that 3 episodes in advance, but it's going to be a blowout, knockdown, drag out episode.
Over something is in such defiance of other blowouts within that kind of friendship.
Yes, and Troy and Abed is so appealing because on so many of these other shows, they will just have the friends fight because they needed a plot for the episode. But they never did that with Troy.
It's Nick and Schmidt. So, they just fight and you're like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, Nick and Schmidt are great because they fight and they like love each other, but that's part of the Nick and Schmidt thing.
It's not Troy and Abed.
Whereas like it's a little more annoying when like JD and Turk fight on Scrubs. It's more annoying when that happens because that is like a loving dynamic and that's just like, okay, fine, you need the conflict for this episode. I know it'll be resolved by the end of the episode. But to just have fucking Matt Lucas, who I have nothing against, but like is no Donald Glover, to come in and just like, oh, and now these two are fighting. For just the reason that Matt Lucas is here. It sucks. It fucking sucks.
It also, playing into the gender thing that we've been noticing, it also further reduces Britta to being just something that got in between Troy and Abed. And they play into that. And it's like, that is so not who or what Britta is. That's not her role. That's not her.
Do the gender dynamic of like, Troy, you're the woman in this scenario. Like that's not true. Like honestly, at the beginning where like Britta's trying to do the subterfuge and then Abed's like, I know you two are dating. I just like donuts. Like that is actually a nice version of this dynamic. I think
that's cute.
Like this is like they think they need to do it, but Abed's hip to it. He doesn't actually care. You think Abed's going to care because you see Abed as this fragile thing, but Abed's going to subvert you and say, no, I don't care. It's fine. Also, you two are having sex. I'm an adult man.
Also, I'm thinking of, like, Britta being like, oh, I've seen that face before, even though we know explicitly from an earlier episode that Britta has a hard time connecting with other girls.
She doesn't have female friends.
She doesn't have female friends. So to have female friends in the circumstance where they would discuss, like, boy problems, boy issues, bathroom talk, as we see she struggles with, it's like it feels like defiant. Caleb, are you saying something or are you muted?
I muted myself. Yeah, I said this episode is broken.
Oh, to a beautiful Simmons pastiche. 04 winger.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
That's what I was getting at.
Debate 109, the last time the Jeff and Annie dynamic was palatable to my brain. It was a fun episode when they kiss and then they dropped it. Literally. They dropped it on the ground. Anyway, we digress. I think this episode's... Yeah, this episode's fucking embarrassing for Annie. Shirley doesn't get anything to do. Not a fan. I will say.
An object that Pierce plows through as he destroys something that they're posting up to be sacred.
It honestly makes more sense if Shirley is the one who's like, oh, I've seen that look before. I like that. They're going to think you're crazy. Like, that makes so much more sense if it's Shirley. I know that Troy is dating Britta, but...
Well, it would also make sense for Troy to, be resistant to that advice, because he's like, shut up, Shirley, you're not my mom. Like, that way it would work
You're not better. Shirley, and Shirley is not my mom.
But I think also Troy would more likely go to Shirley, ask her about it, and then be like, you don't know what you're talking about. That would have been great.
And then put Britta in the room with Pierce. That's fine.
And have Britta it up.
Yes, that works.
That works.
Hey, community writers from 8
Let's
years ago.
remake a season real quick.
Got some notes. Yeah, reshoot Game of Thrones season 8, reshoot Community season 4.
Could you imagine
remake
if the
The Last
Community
Jedi.
movie is just like a retcon of season 4?
The gang goes back in time and does the gas leak year again.
Oh my god! What if
That's not what I want, but
what
that
if
would be wild.
What if the movie is so good that it makes them enough money to make another season? And what they do in the movie is they go back and like an offshoot, like just in case it doesn't make that much money, just as an offshoot, they go back in time and fix the gas leak, and then come back and carry on with the movie. But then the movie is wildly successful, and then we get a new season 4 after the gas leak's been fixed.
It's
just like an alternate timeline.
Community season 4.2.
Yeah,
That gets into so much of like what makes the modern Terminator franchise a fucking trash fire is that every Terminator movie for the last 30 years has been, what if we rewrote the previous Terminator movies that weren't Terminator 2? And I was like, just make a new movie, for the love of God. But I know we're doing fun hypotheticals.
Yeah.
And that's completely okay.
I actually am
but
vehemently against any time travel in actuality in any community
real-time
product.
travel? You
Like
should
real
be.
time travel. Like genuinely like we did.
that does break the universe in a way they haven't done. You know what I
Right,
mean?
it's like no, we can't do this. We've addressed multiple timelines in the Model UN, and then we saw the Darkest Timeline episode. That was cute, but that was all hypothetical theory. That wasn't actually something that actually happened. In the full
okay. So I changed my theory, or not my theory. My you should
Yeah.
do this. I change it. They have to go through timelines for whatever reason and interact with the bad timeline, and they somehow interact with the timeline where the gas leak never happened, and they just kind of run into each other from season 4 doing normal shit, and they're like, "Huh, this feels comfortable," and then they go back.
I mean,
God.
I don't know. I also think that we've seen in season 4 itself them playing with the idea of the darkest timeline stuff. Like just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Please let it die.
Just leave it alone. It was great when it happened. Leave it there.
Speaking of things being great when they happened and leaving them there, season 4, episode 4, alternative history of the German invasion, directed by Steven Tsuchida, written by Ben Wexler. In this episode, the Germans return from the foosball episode, except they sub out Nick Kroll for the Silicon Valley guy. And I'm sorry, sir, I don't know your name.
Russ
This is
Hanneman
our-
is his name
find
from
out.
Silicon Valley.
Russ Hanneman, there you go. In the first history... Man, Silicon Valley. That was a funny show. Never finished it, but seasons I watched, hooduggy. In this episode, it's somehow the beginning of their history class with Malcolm McDowell. They decide to look at history from different perspectives, and there becomes a turf war over the study room.
Oh my god,
land
you're so
grab by
right.
the
This should have come
Germans.
so much earlier in the season.
It was supposed to be the second one, and now it's the fourth
Naturally.
one. So you're like, what the like they're just taking this class now? It's fine. It was not the fault of the people that made the show.
That's true.
And a World War II parody breaks out. It's fine.
So
I will
strange.
say, joke I love from this episode. This is just very particularly catered to my tastes. When Russ Hanneman says, he starts laughing and he says, "This reminds me of something from the German version of The Nanny," and he refers to the main character as Franline. Good joke. good reference to both The Nanny and my knowledge of the German language. Excellent joke. That's all I got for you.
I do like that he takes the moment and goes, "It wouldn't translate," and there's
wouldn't
something really fun about that moment to me that I really enjoy. It's good. I think actually I wrote down I started like keeping tabs on little things that I like want to remember because I know otherwise I'll forget about them. And naturally, of course, here's the thing. With these episodes so far, consistently, the one character that does not let me down is the Dean. Like, throughout all of season 4, Jim just
Goddamn
crushes,
Jim.
dude. And he's got
Jim
this
crushes.
one line where, because we've got Chang in the Dean's office, and you see him open the door, and goes, "And I still have those pants. True story." Oh, we have fun. Ah! And then,
Oh,
Just a
Jim.
shriek when he sees, but just that, like, no, we have fun. I was like, I know that bitch. Like, what a great line delivery. It was so good. And then they go
Jim
and they make
runs.
really,
Sorry, go ahead.
They just make a joke about Dean dressing up has always been like so fun for me, and I love that. I was just kind of this like abandoned, and it's goofy because he's being goofy. It's not goofy because haha, it's a man in a dress. Although they are playing into that, but a little bit different. Because they're also, but then. It's like.
But that's not the only joke. It's not the only joke that it's a man in a dress.
It's not the only thing that they're saying. And then they have the audacity for him to say something like, the students aren't so unstable here, blah, 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 blah. And then they do the quote, the contradiction joke, right? Where then she walks in with his,
put that in the closet and that in the fridge. And it's like a Chiquita banana outfit.
Very much.
And I'm like...
And I was like, that
a
just
Chiquita...
feels really mean to, be to make, because then what it does is it implies that the audience is supposed to look at him as unstable for wearing costumes, and that I don't like
for this character that
He's not unstable because he does drag.
Right, that's a separate thing.
Yeah.
That's garland on the fucked up salad. That's some fucking that's garnish. Sorry, I used garland.
Judy Garland on the fucked up salad.
And I know it's like a bit, but like a Chiquita banana outfit is not implausible for what that's not so absurd based on what we know the Dean to do. I think Jim does a lot with some bad material in this episode. I think the material is bad, but Jim is a fucking pro. Jim is a fucking killer, and he can take anything and just make it fucking work. Even in this episode where he's just this Changnesia setup plotline that just goes fucking nowhere. We are now 4 episodes into this season, and what is this? What is the story that you're trying to tell?
What are we doing?
What is happening? What are we doing? What is the purpose of this?
What's happening? What are we doing? Why are we
doing
doing it? Who thought it was a good idea to do it?
Why is it multiple episodes?
And if they thought it was such a good idea, exactly, why did it take them so long to just fucking do it? Ugh.
Right, because even if these episodes aired in order, Chang is not in the Halloween episode or the Space-Time Convention episode, so it would still take 4 episodes to, get him introduced to the study group, and so, what is the point? It's just, it's a bad mistake that they just take way too long to never correct.
Yeah.
They go so in on it. And it does not go. I have nothing truly against this episode. It's just that it doesn't make me laugh. That's my problem with it. Is that I'm like, oh, this is perfectly
See, I'm a
watchable.
Sucker. I'm a sucker because people doing. I took 6 years of German, and so people doing German accents and also German language / society culture jokes fucking work. Fucking Angela Jerkles works really well. It's even better that that's immediately followed by Troy being like, "Someone changed the channel to USA because someone just got a burn notice." Fuck, those work really well.
Burn Notice, starring Michelle Slater. Yeah,
she is in that.
She is on Burn
Notice.
Yo,
the show breaks itself so many times.
I messaged y'all a couple of times this over the last week, but my wife watches Chicago PD and Chicago Fire, and there's an episode of Chicago Fire where I can't think of her name, but Slater,
Lauren Stamile.
Oh yeah, Lauren Stamile shows up. We're sitting in the living room, just me, my wife, and our new baby, and I vocally was like, huh. She was like, what? And I was like, nothing.
Just the fucking ape part of my brain leapt to the forefront for a second. All right, so I know I have done something similar, and I will tell this story to put myself on an even keel with Caleb. Jace, have you ever, while watching something, made it just an involuntary sound because of the attractiveness of a person who entered the frame?
Don't fucking lie to us. You know you have.
Especially if it's with another person. Just again, the lizard brain went forefront for a second, and you were just like, huh?
I was trying to think of I'm thinking because I'm trying to think if I can benchmark an actual. Yes, I have absolutely done that. I can't remember a specific
specific
but
moment.
I've definitely done that. Yes.
Sure.
I'm queer.
I will come clean about mine, about my own.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a safe space for everyone, and I want it's important to me as a human that I also share my own insecurities and failures, so that other people feel like they're not alone in theirs, like I do in mine. You know what I mean? It's important that we share these things, and it gets recognized as like a human condition. Because I will tell you, when I was watching the major motion picture, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Whoa.
And
I know. Yeah, sure.
And I think anyone that's seen that motion picture can already see where this conversation is going. But boy, howdy, Margot Robbie in the major motion picture The Wolf of Wall Street, at least once, it's just like an involuntary, like, just like, so I will cop to that.
Appreciate you.
Probably couldn't pick out a scene. There are multiple. Choose one. It just happened. It's an
I think the reason why I'm struggling to think of a time where it was like an involuntary moment is because like so frequently when I'm watching stuff with my other like Judies, like we watch stuff and we like don't even hide it. We just will look at each other and go, "Ooh, whoa,
well, that's how it should be.
See the
that's
jaw
great.
on that human? Wow."
Could fucking mince onion on that jaw. Yeah, absolutely. So I
be an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we're just like, we're watching. I don't know. I don't know. Zoe's. We could be watching literally anything, and we will react to it like we're watching a drag performance. Just like if something makes us excited, we will scream at the TV. Start like.
I think that's a much healthier way to live. I think just like not being ashamed of that and letting that out with like people that are mutually in on it, not like subjecting someone to it.
No. You don't.
But everyone being on the same page.
No, yeah, there's
exactly
a reason why we call it pride.
Hell yeah. And that's a much healthier way to be. Hell yeah. Yeah, let it out. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. I have a moral question for the two of you. Based upon this episode. Okay, fine. This episode being a little unclear. It's unrelated to the previous topic. I understand that was a bad segue on my part. So, in this, when Troy pops out of the cave wearing a gas mask and suggests that the study group was about to tear gas the Germans.
Well, they also said that.
But was that, because I think the episode is unclear, was that part of the ruse? Why, or were they going to tear gas the Germans?
See, I don't think they were actually going to tear gas them.
Because it doesn't make sense with their actual plan, so I was like, wait, was that there?
Here's the other thing, my question when that happened was, did someone not tell Troy?
That it was the joke.
What the plan was?
The plan.
Did Troy acquire tear gas?
There's no way that Troy would react. That we've seen Troy be a bad actor when he's pretending to lie to people frequently, and he's very genuine in his like, oh, fuck, they caught us, right?
Yeah.
And we know that Troy would have been like, oh no, you caught us. Like, we've seen him do that. So I was like, did someone forget to tell Troy? Or did they intentionally not tell Troy so that he didn't mess it up? But then why is he wearing a gas mask?
Well, it could have also not been tear gas, right? It could have been like, it seems very Troy to put like stink bombs.
Or
snake in a can?
Oh.
Also, is it a little uncomfortable that they were going to gas the Germans?
The Germans in an episode that is not shy about the Nazi thing?
Is it a little uncomfortable that they were going to gas the Germans?
As like it is an interesting flip. But
sure.
That's the way to describe it. Just went, sure.
Yeah.
This whole episode's bizarre. They also, the one other joke that I catch that makes me go, wait, what? Is when the Germans refer to Hogan's heroes as Hogan's villains.
That's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
That's a joke. I like that.
It's also
joke.
really fucking weird because also it. There's so many times watching it in a contemporary lens where it goes, "Oh my God, are we the Germans?" I was expecting them to go, oh my god, wait, are we the bad guys? Because that's totally what
we
it
the
should have been.
baddies?
Are we the baddies? It should be like, oh my god, the United States are the bad guys. Because, what was I saying? Oh no, it's leaving. Because, I got it. Germans.
Hold
it back down. Germans are like very good at like the accountability. Like they're very much like they teach the Holocaust.
Yeah, Germans don't fuck around
They're
with
like,
that.
no,
And by
we did some fucked up things. We need to have some sense of self-accountability. And so for them to also be the joke, like, the Germans say, like, the Germans are still the bad guys. It's like, at the same time, it's like Germans also have a sense of humor. When people make the Germans the bad guys, they go, I mean, we are the bad guys.
We fucked that up.
We kind of had one guy who was kind of a good talker and convinced us that we were the best in the world. And then we won. It was.
I mean, also, I think the part of this episode that makes me the most uncomfortable is how genuinely upset Pierce gets that nobody considered him to be the Hitler of the group.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Like it's supposed to be like, it's funny. He just wants attention so badly that he's willing to call himself Hitler. But it's like, no, you're accidentally stumbling on something really fucking accurate.
Yeah,
and I don't.
That is
it was real.
Right, but like that joke and the tear gas joke are a lot of what I have an issue with in season 4. Is that I'm like. I feel like in Community seasons 1 through 3, I always knew where the joke was and who it was on. And in a lot of these 2 episodes in particular, I'm like, okay, but what's the joke?
What's the punchline?
And who is
a person? And who is it punchline
directed at? Like in 1 through 3, I always knew where Troy's dumb guyness was in relation to the literal space they were occupying. But in this episode, I'm like. Was he?
Literally the
was he going to?
Telling Magnitude, you know they're laughing at you, right?
Sure.
Like this whole thing, it's like, well, this is the episode with the thing I was talking about earlier with the Arizona joke. He goes, "This is America, not Arizona," and it's a reference to this legislation that passed in Arizona around that time that basically said a police officer can kind of pull you over if you look like you don't have papers.
Right.
That basically said,
there was that famous Arpaio.
Yeah, it was the profiling law, basically. Yeah. And then, of course, they go on with the. It's like like something we've heard over and over and over again with these discussions, but they tried to make it funnier than it really was. And then Abed's just like, and I lied to his face, and then Troy says, "It's okay, you were just following orders."
Fucked up.
It makes me that joke. Like the thing is, like at this point, the number of times where we have made in the cultural zeitgeist currently, right, where we're like just following orders is literally what the Nazis said.
Is not a good excuse
in that moment, but it hits different, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think because there's probably more awareness. I'm sure if somebody was aware at the time, it would have hit just as like ouchie. Like it would have not have felt good.
Right, it was 2013, and many of us were naive about the presence of Nazis in our midst.
Right.
And there's another weird quibble I have, because this show has not been lenient to the idea that the study group are self-involved, that they are frequently make everything about them. That's not a new idea that they introduce at the end of this episode. The part where I draw an issue is that the study group are like, we need to give something back to Greendale. And I'm like, motherfucker, 4 episodes ago, you stopped a guy from blowing up the school. They stopped a stormtrooper rampage on campus at the end of season 2. What more does the study group have to give to Greendale before they're in the clear? What? Like, it's not that they've not given back to this school.
There was a flashback montage that they really wanted to do that is really great, and then they ran a little too far with it. Like
they came to the wrong conclusion.
Right, Garrett running up to the room being like, oh no, I need to get. I signed out the study room for this time, and then what's his name? Oh my god, the curly hair, the turtle. Todd goes, they lost a pen.
Good boy, Todd.
But they reference the bottleneck episode, right? And they show it from the outside in, and then Todd says they can't find a pen, just to show the absurdity of the outside looking in on what that episode really was and how that looked like to the other students. I love that kind of trope.
That's a good moment.
That's a really great moment, and they do it a couple times, and then they add in some other ones with like Jeff wearing some ice skate stuff. And
like
again,
a Christy
it just
Yamaguchi,
feels like, haha, we got the leading man to wear makeup, and I'm like, this is not the spirit of the show, right? The spirit of the show for so many other seasons, it is complicated, yes, but it at least feels like there's some sort of like it doesn't feel, it just feels more homophobic, and I can't explain it.
No, it feels. I mean, these 2 episodes, like, I get weird homophobic, xenophobic vibes from, like we did at the end of History 101, where I was like, we've crossed the threshold from commenting on a trope to just doing it. Yeah. Like all those times that someone does or says something offensive and they're like, it's satire. And I'm like, it can't be satire if you just do it. That's not what satire is. You can't just say it and then say satire. That's not the rules. That's not how it works. Park. Yeah. Fuck. Jesus. Fucking, when is South Park gonna have to reckon with its rampant anti-Semitism?
Never. They're never going to have to.
They're never going to reckon.
I listened to a really funny, not funny, but like illuminating episode of something that had Matt Stone and Trey Parker on it. Trey Stone and Matt Parker?
Yeah.
No, you had it right the first time.
Okay. Them on it. And it was talking about like their inspirations and their goals and yada yada yada. But there was one moment where they were like, you keep pushing you keep towing the line. Like, when do you think you'll cross it? And they were like, we don't know. We thought we would cross it ages ago, and it hasn't happened yet. But we've both made like two full conjoined family plans that, like, when it happens, we're going to like go somewhere. Like, we're gonna go on vacation.
They have bug out bags for when their bigotry comes back to bite them.
And I think it's one of those things because, like, first of all, I think people that care about accountability have literally just went, fuck it, it's a lost cause at this point.
We're never gonna get Capone. We're gonna have to get Matt Stone and Trey Parker on tax front. Right. That's how we're that's how you get Capone.
I have the number of times where people are like, oh yeah, well, what about South Park? And they bring it up as some kind of fucking gotcha whenever I'm like trying to be fucking serious about like accountability culture, you know, or not even, I don't want to say accountability culture, just
cancel culture.
Yeah, it's consequence culture, you know, like you did a fucked up thing. There's consequences. Grow up.
You did a oops.
Yeah.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
So, will you understand? Your actions have consequences. What is that?
I love that kid. That beautiful child.
Oh my god! Where is he now? A star.
I hope he's actually living a quiet life. I hope that after all that, I hope he's happy. I hope he's quiet, and I hope he's his true self. Sammy Sonic fan, I hope you're doing okay, bud.
We salute you. Than the gods.
Shout out to you. And this is not the first time we've addressed like the South Park concerns, but like the amount of like rampant transphobia, homophobia on that fucking show, unconscionable. Watch any episode featuring the Chinese food restaurant, and you're like, how are these two not in jail? How have you not gone to prison for this?
And it was really interesting listening to that podcast because like they were both very aware, and they were like, we've been trying to find the limit on this fucking thing, and which is interesting. It's interesting because it's a little bit of that. Yes, it's a little bit like, okay, fuck you guys. You just keep pushing it. But it's also like, I'm a little bit sad for them because they're like, we want to just hit the spot where we gone too far and it's over, but we can't fucking find it. Like,
I can't imagine they enjoy it anymore. And they're just like, but we can't stop.
Well, they remember when Trump got elected and they were like, we don't know how to make this show because like, everything he does is already ridiculous.
Because we're Republicans and we know where our bread is buttered. We know what our audience is for South Park, so we're not going to fucking make fun of Trump anymore.
Right.
They know who their core audience is.
At which point I'm like, okay, maybe, I don't know, stop encouraging them. Like, if you found out your fan base was Nazis and you yourself weren't a Nazi and your decision was, I'll just let them have it. It's fine. You're actually a Nazi. You don't think you're a Nazi. At what point are they going to go, oh, we're actually feeding the beast? We should just stop instead of waiting to be canceled. Cancel yourself. Fuck.
Yeah. And you're about to hear me give You're about to hear me give Seth MacFarlane some credit, which is rare. But like as much as Family Guy encroaches on a lot of this same like unconscionable territory,
and it does breach it every so often, yes.
At least Family Guy will have like once every 3 seasons, like a character will turn to camera and be like, "You guys are fucking homophobes." Like at least I'll give them that. Once every 30 years, they have like Brian turn to camera and be like, "You guys are fucked up out there in TV land," and that's the last time.
I also find
Family
that
Guy
to
some
be
credit.
Such a cop out,
disingenuous. Yeah, exactly. It's disingenuous.
It's
which is
lampshading.
interesting.
It's like, see, if we point out that it's fucked up, then we can just keep doing it. It's like you're still doing the thing, though.
Right. As opposed to Family Guy, which wants to have it like both ways. They want to have like, oh, we're gonna make all the homophobic, anti-Semitic jokes, but then we're gonna say like, but the people that hold these beliefs are wrong. And it's like, well, you can't, like, you've just put a horrible Jewish stereotype on screen. You can't then say the audience is wrong. Like, that's not how this goes.
No, that's not how
that's not how this works.
You're enabling them and then fake shaming them. It's like, fuck off. Stop jerking yourself off and calling yourself self-righteous. It's stupid.
You're lighting the house on fire and then saying like, we need to pay firefighters more. Good on these guys. It fucking horse hockey. Obviously, we're very interested in this episode of Community. Obviously, we're just fucking like fascinated by it. It's cool to see everyone in German outfits. They should have done it for the boys too. The boys should have been in lederhosen. We're doing like a weird gendered thing. We're doing like we're gonna put the girls in fetish outfits and the boys are gonna be wearing normal clothes. Troy should be in lederhosen.
It's so weird that's the like, and that's the what am I trying to say? The like canary in the coal mine for like, oh, Dan Harmon's not doing this anymore.
Isn't that fucking ironic?
Because
isn't that fucked up really, considering really, Dan Harmon as a man?
Yeah.
Isn't that fucked
But for some reason, he's really good at writing things that are pointed and about sensitive things and inverting like expectations and doing it in like a tactful way. Despite what are you fucking doing?
You're
meowing.
Very, I'm meowing. You're speaking very highly of someone who has done those things.
Oh, I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
Okay,
I was going to say he's good at doing this in writing, despite being a terrible person.
But I'm saying even in his writing, sometimes he doesn't quite do it. Like, I mean,
you do still have an episode where Britta and Annie have a mud wrestling fight, like
among other things. Right?
Among other things, but that's the one that leads primarily
to slur usage at the end of season 1.
Sure.
The vast majority of the first season and a half of Rick and Morty. Like, this is not necessarily something that is impervious himself.
The first season of Community has like a not insignificant amount of 2009 like Islamophobia. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It for the time was maybe sensitive, but there's a lot of it that has aged like.
But I think what it does pull on is. He was not impervious to making gendered jokes. He did not lean on gender as a crutch.
That's what I was getting at.
Sure.
Sorry. Caleb, you're very right, and that's what you were getting at. I'm really particular about words to a fault when it comes to this stuff. Also, just because, especially with gender, a big part of what's going on right now is literally defining language that we haven't had before. So the words we use are very specific and for very specific reasons, and I know that pisses a lot of people off too, because it's like, oh, that's what I'm saying, and it's like, yes, but it's actively changing the words we use is a big part of it, and I think kind of that's what I wanted. I didn't have the words for it either until you kind of brought it up, and that helped me get there. So thank you. But yeah, that's what that is. It's that this season. they're like, what's funny? I don't know. Boys are like this. Girls are like this. Waka, waka, waka. It's like, oh,
90s
God.
stand-up comedy.
Yeah, right. Literally, exactly. 90s.
Cannot wait for the episode where they talk about how Troy drives like this, but Jeff drives like this.
But they also, like, the way that they make fun of that joke in an earlier season, I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's a later season, is Troy tries out stand-up. He says, you ever notice how Abed brushes his teeth like this, but I brush my teeth like this?
Yeah, Abed's doing stand-up. That was a tag from season 3.
Yeah, exactly. That to me is one of the things about this show is that it is not perfect. It does fall into those tropes, but also so frequently defies those tropes, flips those tropes into something unexpected, and that's why it's charming. And this whole season falls into a lot of decidedly gendered tropes, and it's not cute. It's not cute, lad. Not a good look.
It's not cute. Also, Daddy Host, I feel like I in particular have been stepping all over your shit tonight, and I do apologize for that.
No, it's okay.
I do.
It's okay.
I feel bad. I storm all over. Like I'm like, I have words, and I just like storm all over. So I do. You in particular tonight. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I have 2 kids. I'm used to it.
I have 3 kids.
Yes.
That's a
kids.
call forward. I have kids.
Listen, I hate cops.
That's exactly. You got it, Jake. That's what I was doing.
I was doing. I felt it. I had to pull it out.
Sure.
I was doing Shirley's character in G.I. Jeff, who has 3 kids, whose trademark is she has 3 kids.
3 kids. Oh my God, I forgot about that episode.
Underrated.
It's very good. It's very good. Isn't that the episode where they just start killing fucking people from Cobra? Yeah, and they're like, yo, what the fuck? We don't kill.
No one's ever killed anyone. That'll be fun to talk about.
So
for some people, that's like their least favorite episode, and I'm like, bitch, have you seen the Inspector Spacetime Convention episode? Like, fuck.
It's
fuck me.
Weird. I think like also just because like I was such a big Doctor Who fan. I think a Whovian, as they called it, around this time. Yeah, I know.
Those were involuntary sounds the both of us just made.
I could tell. But there was something I remember kind of charming about the idea of this episode. You know what I mean?
No, totally. It felt like being seen before like everything was about this.
Yeah.
Before everything was about nerd culture.
Before Hot
back
Topic
when
switched from goth clothing to nerd clothing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
When they went from My Chem t-shirts to Flash t-shirts.
I said the silent thing out loud.
Yeah, Hot Topic, the culture maker. Let's see. So let's do our rankings for this week. Shall we? So starting with our end tags, our first end tag is American Inspector Spacetime. This is funny to me. It rings true. This was an era where we were adapting a lot of British shows for American TV and making them dumber and worse. Life on Mars leaps immediately to mind, even though I watched every episode of that fucking show.
Wait, did I watch that show?
It had Harvey Keitel and Gretchen Ball on it for like no reason at all for them to be on that show, but they were there. Anyway, I liked it, but I was also 13 years old. So let's see. It's not as good as the Starburns Memorial video at number 44. It's not as good as Koppelgangers.
I just don't care about this end tag. Like, honestly, I saw it. I was entirely unmoved by it. I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it, like, haha, cheeky. I liked that it gave Abed a moment to say, I hate you to Pierce. But that, like, sure. I enjoyed that for personal reasons, not entertainment reasons. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
So I could throw this way down the barrel.
Is this better than the Dildopolis advertisement?
No.
Okay. All right, well then let's go down. Is this better than Oh Lord No? Our last place, 71. This is better than that.
This is better than that, actually.
Okay. At least it's like a new idea. You know what I mean? It's like a new
proposal. You're like,
no. I want to fucking catapult into the sun.
I say it almost every week. Because outside of Community, it's funny. But in this
applicable.
specific setting, it sucks. So if I'm like, feeding my kid something, and she fucking catapults her spoon full of pears across the living room floor, and I go, "Oh Lord, no!" That's just funny.
That's funny.
Oh,
that kills
man.
with the
I
with the
would
2-year-old
kill to
crowd.
watch that end tag. That's great. Wow.
Just
all
come
right,
hang out
another
with me
Pierce
for a little
end.
Jay. She'll get the full fucking Caleb's life as a fucking sitcom with messy kids experience.
I love that.
Bagage.
I think I say put this as the new 71. I think Trader Audition
Ooh.
is better than this, but Or Lord No just hurts. It's somehow worse than this one.
Oh no,
So-
hold on. Worse
I
than
think
the
this is
worse,
better than
worse than.
Pierce and the Ice Cream Machine. I think this is better than that.
Oh Lord, no! Wait, what are we ranking right now? The
The American Inspector Space.
That's the worst
end
one.
tag.
Oh Lord knows better.
You
Wow.
think Oh Lord No is better than the Inspector?
Yes, because Oh Lord knows at least a little referenceable in real life.
I mean, that's actually a really valid point. It at least gets like a cent. for
This
being
one,
able to
the
quote it.
the most takeawayable thing from it, which is not a word I just said, is "I hate you," and that's not unique at all.
Make it 72. I'm with Caleb, actually. I thought I would.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn.
Wowzers! I did not see that coming.
We don't like it, Kevin.
I think. Kev,
I mean,
Kev,
I'm
think
not
that's mostly
saying it-
because we pushed this end tag out of our memory, and then you see
I mean,
it
I'm
and
not-
go, oh yeah.
I'm not saying
Oh,
it should have
Lord,
been
no.
number 1. I just wasn't predicting the very bottom, but that's okay. That's all right. The next end tag, the Troy and Abed podcast.
I actually like this one.
It's cute.
I actually like this one quite a bit, especially when they're doing the whole like soup, 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 soup. Like they take the thing that the Germans were doing and they do it themselves. I think it's kind of fun.
It's cute. I like it.
Doppelgangers. I could put it above Doppelganger.
This, I'm
No,
gonna give
it's-
Doppelgangers the edge.
Yeah, I also think it's below. Why did he call me? I know
Why
that.
Why did he
Okay.
call me?
It's one of those things when I think back. I know why did he call me is ranked fairly low, but whenever I think back to why did he call me, it just makes me
Why
chuckle.
did he call me?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
extremely chuckle worthy.
Yeah.
That's fine. Well, then we're gonna put it beneath John Goodman with a trumpet. We're gonna put it beneath
Huzzah.
Dean Pelton at the rave. Betty. This is better than Betty White explains Inception.
Yeah.
56.
Yeah.
I'll put it above that.
Yeah.
The Troy and Abed podcast. I feel like there's a little prescient on the podcast train. They'd been around for a while, but I don't feel like they were
They were not
ubiquitous in
super
the year
huge at that
2013.
time. No. I think that was
Alright.
probably more so like a nerdy reference at the time, and now it's just like a more of a pop culture reference. And they both work for Troy and Abed, but it flipped somehow.
Absolutely. Now to the episode rankings. I assume we're starting at the
drop.
bottom. So number 73 is History 101. We are ranking against it conventions of space and time.
Literally, what happens in History 101?
That's the Hunger Deans.
These episodes are so bad.
This one's.
This one's not excellent. Okay, I'll put this particular bit out there. The isolated elements of conventions of space and time that I like more than the elements I like from History 101.
I second
With the
that. I think
exception
the intro
that there's
alone
less
is enough to
D.
put it above History 101.
Indeed, that I was like, oh, this is like a fucking explosion of energy. You know what I mean? But I don't like it more than Basic Genealogy.
Yeah, true.
Which one's Basic Genealogy?
That's Family
Family
Day, which has
Day.
like 3 excellent bits, and then the rest of the episode is pretty inconsequential.
Is that Abed's dad?
One of them, yeah.
One of
But
them.
that's the one where they like Abed's cousin is there, and it's like kind of weirdly Islamophobic. I'm not a fan. As for E3,
I like that episode
Conventions
more
of
than both of y'all, but that's okay.
the parts I like are fucking hysterical.
Yes.
It just doesn't hang together as a piece. But like the windmill bit, Chang roasting the classroom, classic bit. I will watch the beginning of this episode at any time. Conventions of space and time. Now on to alternative history of the German invasion. My issue with this episode is that I've watched it twice in the last 7 days, and I've already forgotten everything about it. I remember
You just told me what happens in History 101.
Hunger Deans.
Thank you.
Abed TV.
I would actually put season 4, episode 4 below that.
I really don't like History 101.
Well, then put
really
it.
Yeah,
don't.
it's not
It's
the German. The German episode makes me laugh more.
At least Russ Hanneman is in this one.
Yeah. Oh, his name's like Jason Diamantopoulos or something like that.
Yeah, he has a real name.
Yeah,
Sure.
we should make an effort to call him his real name once, maybe. But I don't know.
Boy, y'all, I'm not feeling it.
Well,
Alternative history of the German invasion, new number 74. I try not to be a season 4 hater, but this patch of 3 episodes.
It's one of those things where, like, what I
Patch of
remember
4 episodes, homie. None of them escaped the top 70.
when
But hey, Paranormal Parentage is number 53.
Oh,
You know, it's
okay,
not at the top,
Okay,
but it's up there.
3 of them don't top
when
the top.
when we started this this podcast, I did a full, like, I finished my rewatch. I went ahead and just did a full rewatch, and I didn't really hate season 4. And now that we're talking about it, you know what I mean? It's just like
now that we have to
everything,
discuss it.
all the
Now
time.
that I have to actually think about it.
You have to, once you start breaking it down and looking at it with I don't know, any sense of I don't even want to say a microscope, a magnifying glass, just a little bit more detail. You're like, oh
Yeah, Chase, it's like eating a McDonald's hamburger when you're hungry. It will taste good, but the more you look at and think about what you're eating, the worse you're going to feel.
Oh
my
shit.
goodness.
It's like, a McDonald's hamburger, it'll get the job done in a pinch.
I
But
guess.
if everything was McDonald's hamburgers, you'd shit yourself to death.
But technically, it doesn't even count as food.
What?
It's
Right.
it's not even
Legally,
food.
they never say the word food anywhere.
I think because scientifically, it's not right.
That's not how that. I can't with you.
It's like how they can't call them milkshakes because they have to call them shakes because there's no milk. you can't legally call it a milkshake.
This feels.
Yep.
This feels like I my insides hurt. I don't and by my insides I don't mean my stomach. I mean my heart. This hurts me. Even thinking about this.
My
That's
essence
what I
is
said
pain.
after eating McDonald's. Yeah,
I just don't like this.
this hurts my soul.
Don't get me wrong. For those listening to this podcast, I'm not harassing you. If it's been 2 a.m. and you've had drinks and been like, dude, some chicken.
Get me a
McNuggets
goddamn
sounds
McFlurry
fucking
right
amazing.
the fuck now.
Because if you're gonna
Yeah,
tell me that
absolutely.
chicken McNuggets are bad when you're drunk, you're out of your McFucking mind. They're delicious.
you
But
bastard.
also,
Yeah.
no,
If
It
I
tastes
slammed
good when you're drunk though.
Exactly. If I slammed a fucking White Castle Crave case out of necessity, 100% I have. Would I recommend the experience? Probably not.
no.
I don't think I've ever even eaten White Castle.
Every time I eat White Castle, it's distinctly of the mindset of fuck around and find out. Every fucking time, it's like, you know what?
It's the only way to do it.
Fuck
That
it.
should be their motto. That should be on the sign.
White Castle, fuck around, find
Fuck around.
out.
Kevin, if you don't put that on a fucking t-shirt, I swear to God.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
man.
figure it out. I'll figure out how to not get fucking sued by White Castle and merchandise this. I'll figure it out.
I love it.
Shit. I don't know. Y'all got anything to plug? I ain't got dick.
I mean, I got that cabaret coming up. I talked about it last episode. We pulled the info once more with feeling. Yeah, so a friend of mine came to me a little while back and was like, I want to do a cabaret of just trans folks doing musical theater stuff because we want to show the musical theater world what they're missing. It's called Transpose. Go ahead and give them a follow. It's going to be at Transpose Cabaret on Instagram and I believe also Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram at JACENZIEV. And you also see a post. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Ticket pricing is $5 if you're trans, $20 if you are cis. You can also sponsor a ticket if you have a little bit of extra cash. That'd be super awesome. Or if you're looking to request a free ticket, there's also a way to get that. And then half of the proceeds go to For the Gwirls, which is a Black trans-led collective that curates parties to fundraise money to help Black transgender people pay for their rent, gender-affirming surgeries, smaller copays for medicines, doctor's visits, etc., and travel assistance. It's a really great org. It's a really great cause. It's going to be a really great show. It's going to be a really great night with a bunch of really great people and really great, really great, really great. So yeah, that's my plug. Oh, also, I mean, on that same note, I've said it before, but if you're trans, I love you. If you're cis, I love you too. But if you're trans, I love you.
Yeah, I don't really have any plugs. I just wanted to bring this up because I forgot to tell y'all, fantastic humans. Did you see that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith
What?
With Donald Glover?
with Donald Glover?
What?
As a show
I'm jerking
on
off
Amazon?
already, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This
Y'all,
could be the greatest thing ever made.
the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a fucking pleasure of mine.
it's
I won't
very
say
good.
guilty.
It's
I
very
like that
good.
movie a
Very
lot.
exciting.
It's like very exciting, and those two doing it. I'm glad that one good thing came out of Solo: A Star Wars Story, and it's that those two are friends now, and they want to make shows together.
Yeah.
That is exciting to me
Yes.
personally.
Oh my god. The content that they will create. I'm sorry. The art that they will make.
Thank you.
I almost pooped when you said that.
I pooped. Get
Content-
Phoebe Waller-Bridge in the Community movie. Donald Glover would love to see it. But let's see. We will be back next week to meet Jeff's dad and get to the root of this Changnesia issue. Always remember, fuck content, make art, and we will see you next time. Pop, pop.
Oh,
What is the thing that they do in one of the episodes? I did down to be found in fame. That's their shortened tag. Have you noticed that? Anyway, that's.
No.
Oh, you
I
mean
gotta
like
pay
at the
attention.
beginning of episodes?
Yeah, I think it was one of the
Yeah,
ones we
yeah.
really watched where they
Some of
it doesn't have-
the season 4 episodes are like 15-second intro
Yeah.
tags instead of like
the reasons I should stay.
and then it's like Community. Move on.
It's literally, it doesn't resolve. Do you know how fucking evil that is? From a musical perspective.
They that sting, they used it a little in season 1 as well, before they like settled on their rhythm. And of course the best time they use that shortened tag is in the Jack Black episode, where he talks about them throwing off their natural rhythm.
Rhythm.
Wow.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.
That was quite a show, very entertaining.
Please tell your friends about this show.
Boopy doopy doop boop sex.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.